We are constantly told to be small for many reasons. There is too much competition, no point in trying, no opportunities, blah blah blah. But what happens if we listen to them? Resentment and a festering feeling that there must be more to life. This book comes to help to think and do big. Here are the 10 lessons from the magic of thinking big, written by Dr. David J. Schwartz. Lesson 1. Believe in yourself. Honestly, this chapter was a game changer. It made me reflect. I was thinking that we were taught not to think too highly of ourselves or our capabilities because then others can mark us as boastful or stuck up. But is this true? No, there is a clear distinction between the two. Being stuck up is ranking oneself higher than his or her peers, so it is focused outwards and on comparison with others. Thinking highly of oneself, on the other hand, is realistically viewing oneself, exploring and utilizing one's values and gifts. I believe it is a responsibility to make use of our talents, improve, and bring them to fruition. And before you jump that I don't have a gift, let me stop you. Everyone has talents and gifts, including you as well. So thinking highly of oneself is focused inwards and it has nothing to do with ranking anyone. Similarly, humbleness, I believe, was confused with staying small and irrelevant, not bothering others. It is crazy to see how being almost inexistent was glorified, like not having any sort of impact on the surroundings, not having any mark that you lived there was looked as something to strive for. There must be a historical context to it, why it worked in the past, but does it work now? On the other hand, being humble is knowing oneself, being able to see one's mistake, and open to learn more, to strive for more. It is far from being inexistent and small. That is why it's so refreshing to hear from the author that how highly you think of yourself and believe in yourself is dictating what you can achieve. This belief is just as powerful as belief. So if you think like, that is too big of a task or project for me, then guess what? It will be true and too big for you, so you will not succeed at it because you did not even give the chance for yourself to start. On the contrary, when you allow yourself to think big, take on big projects, face big fears, and you say, I can do it, there must be a way, then your brain jumps to work and digs up solutions for you. If you, however, think, I cannot possibly do this, then once again, your brain diligently comes and digs up reasons on why is that true and why you could fail. Dr. Schwartz named these two Mr. Triumph and Mr. Defeat. All of us have them in our head, leading our stream of thoughts. It is up to us who do we turn to. Mr. Triumph is responsible for calling out positive can-do thoughts, or Mr. Defeat, who is deprecating, highlighting why you are inadequate. Catch whenever Mr. Defeat is at the DJ booth, mixing up negative thoughts like, I'm unimportant, irrelevant, I cannot do it, I don't have the experience, I don't have the capabilities to succeed, I'm not good at what I do, blah blah blah. Ask him to leave and bring Mr. Triumph up and listen to the positive mixes of, I can do big things, I am doing my job with excellence, I am worthwhile, I'm valuable, I bring lots to the table, and so on. The more you think like that, the more you will act like that, bringing more and more value to your life and everyone around you. Lesson 2. Excusitis. I love how the author diagnosed having excuses as a disease and called it excusitis. It is indeed dangerous, spreads quickly, and leaves behind damages. Excuses are cheap explanation made up to save face when someone does not do what he or she intends and desires to do. Instead of putting in courageously the effort to progress toward that goal, it seems easier to bail out, turn around and say, I cannot possibly do it because of my health issues, not having the proper education, not being intelligent enough, being too old, being too young, my parents did not teach me, I'm not a lucky person, etc. On the short term, it brings a sense of ease to the person, feeling like, phew, I'm off the hook. But this is an illusion, and deep down the soul knows that this is a missed opportunity. To combat this inner sadness, the person tends to repeat these excuses more frequently to engrave it deeper until a point where he or she starts to believe in it, being a true blocker in going after their goals and delivering on their purpose. Let's take a closer look at these excuses. Health excusitis. This is related to made-up explanation of, I cannot start a business because I have a bad heart. I cannot do that hobby I always wanted to do because my leg is hurting. I don't do this big project because I don't want to overextend myself too much. Of course, there are cases when health issues are valid and impacting, but use your discernment. Are these really blocking you completely, or there is a small step that you can still do? We all see the painter that creates magnificent art without arms. They figure it out. Instead of using not having an arm as excuse, they use their legs, for instance, to hold the brush. I love this quote from the book. The right attitude and one arm will beat the wrong attitude and two arms every time. Don't focus too much on health issues. We all have some sort of defect. And the more you think about it negatively, like worrying, the more you increase the chances to experiencing something negative. Whatever we focus on grows. So focus on the positive health aspects and give thanks every now and then. Finally, it is better to wear out than to rust out. So go ahead and live fully. Go after your desires and dreams. The next one, intelligence excusitis. This is the person who says, I'm not smart enough to pull this off. But then suddenly someone with less intelligence but less worry comes and delivers it. Have you seen such situations? It is not about how much intelligence you have, it is how you use it. So essentially, what attitude you have toward that specific goal or project. Is your attitude a can-do one or a cannot-do one? What do you use your mental power on, to find solutions or to pinpoint why something will not work? There was a study where they compared the impact of intelligence, level of education, and attitude in success. You guessed it, the main factor was attitude. The top-tier professionals worried less, were enthusiastic, focused on ways to win, and were positive. Another great point related to intelligence is using the brain to think creatively, and solving problems is a lot more beneficial than to use it just to record facts. It is more important to be able to find information quickly, like now we have not only Google, but AI as well. Instead of trying to memorize the facts, names, and dates, like what is that mountain called in Argentina, when was XY invented, or how many feet are in a meter, use your brain rather to create and develop ideas to do things better, to solve problems. Ask yourself, am I using my mental ability to make history, or am I using it merely to record history made by others? Next one, age excusitis, too old, too young. It is funny how we can use both in a given moment, right? I'm too old for this, too young for that. But when is the right time to do what we want? Someone could say at 40 that they are too old to do certain things, but if you were to pinpoint productive years being between 20 and 70 years old, then that person only used 20 out of the 50 available. So majority is still to come. Why not use it fully, whatever time frame we have left? Same on being too young. If you were selected for a manager position for a team including people older than you, it's not about your age dictating how you perform, but actually what you do and how you manage that team. If you do it well, then it means you are sufficiently old to handle it. So it is not about the age, but the attitude towards it, thinking positively or negatively about it. Which excusitis have you diagnosed in yourself? Cure them. Lesson 3. Build confidence and destroy fear. Fear makes us miserable. It stops us from going after what we want and from living life to the fullest. We have a lot of fears. Fear of the unknown, so any change practically. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, and so on. The list is long. I liked how the author articulated it. Most fear today is psychological. Worry, tension, embarrassment, panic all stem from mismanaged negative imagination. Mismanaged negative imagination. Oh wow. We imagine a lot of negative outcomes. Our brain does this to protect us from the unknown, but it is our job to overrule and manage it and say, it is risky, I know, but I will still do it. I heard this from Jim Rohn and I think it is brilliant and fits in here perfectly. He says, it is all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not gonna get out alive. I love this. So let's manage these fears and show who's boss. How, you ask? The author has the answer. Action cures fear. Indecision and postponement, on the other hand, fertilizes fear. So act. It is simple. Taking action, getting a result will grow our confidence as well. The author recommends recalling victories and successes we had, celebrate them and focus on them. Repeat them whilst not giving too much focus to the failures or aspects of life we look at negatively. Our brain wants to get rid of the negative stuff because it's a toxin for it. So if you stop recalling it and repeating negative thoughts, your brain will get rid of them with time. Lesson 4. How to think big. Now that's why we are here, right? The main point. Big thinkers look at possibilities in everything. Where others could say, oh, the market is saturated, 75% is occupied, the big thinkers point to the 25% opportunity left to be explored. Where the average person would say, we have a problem, big thinkers say, great, we have an exciting challenge and opportunity to grow. Big thinkers have a positive vision and can paint and share it with others. That is why a real estate agent who can paint a picture on how land could be used for a chicken farm, for a horse riding park, for a family house will be more successful than the real estate agent who only talks about the size of the land. Big thinkers look for creating additional value. They focus on potential, then envision a big positive future and contribute with acting on progressive ideas. They ask, how can I make myself more valuable on the job market? Or how can I contribute to a colleague's potential to unfold? How can I add more value to the product we offer to the customers, etc.? A big thinker talks positively about others, believes in expansion, not status quo, views future promising, not limited, competes with the best, not the average, looks at long run, not short term, surrounds oneself with people having progressive ideas and not petty thinkers. Lesson 5. Continuous improvement. Once you have the potential captured in a vision, the next is thinking creatively how to improve on it on a continuous basis. Use your creativity to find ways to do better. Creativity is not only for the artists creating music or art. Creativity is coming up with new ways to solve a problem, to create something from scratch, or to upgrade something that already exists. There is multiple ways to do something better. I know we are taught in school that there is only one right answer, there's only one right way to do that equation, but that is simply not true and does not apply to life. Think about a problem you want to solve. If you put your mind on sorting it out, soon multiple different ideas will come to mind how to tackle it, not only one. There is a great example in the book about a merchant who was thriving with 4 stores, whilst others struggled to keep open one. Her secret was a weekly improvement program. She had 4 categories: customers, employees, merchandise, and promotion. Throughout the week, she would jot down all the ideas that come to her regarding these 4 topics on how to do them better. Every Monday, she would set aside 4 hours and review the ideas. She would select the ones that she puts in action in the upcoming period. Her thinking was, how can I attract more consumers? How to serve them better? What sort of produces could I present that would be valuable for these customers? How can I treat my employees even better? And so on. You can put this into practice in all areas of life, like how can I improve my skills to advance my career? How can I strengthen my relationship with loved ones? How could I eat healthier? Etc. Lesson 6. Environment. There are a lot of people who have given up on their dreams, so when you share yours, they might project their feeling of inadequacy onto it. So be aware who you share your big ideas with. If it is with someone who lived through similar big dreams, they will endorse. Others, on the other hand, the average, will laugh and will tell you it's not worth to even try or laughable to do what you want. They say this to reassure themselves and justify why they haven't gone after their own dreams. It has nothing to do with you or your capability to achieve. As you share your dream and take steps towards it, it triggers them as it brings up the question deep inside why they haven't done the same in their own life. This is an extremely uncomfortable feeling, so they will be super motivated to stop you so they can say, see, they couldn't do it either, so it is not a big deal that I haven't done it. Similarly, be careful whose advice you take. As a rule of thumb, it could be beneficial to ask for opinion from someone who has achieved something you strive for in a given life area. For instance, asking the truly wealthy person how to manage money and where to invest, instead of the phony advisor who might be broke. For a happy marriage, we could look for a couple who treat each other with respect and love and have a long track record of building their life successfully together. The same idea applies for the unwanted advice. We all get advices we don't ask for, but we still get right. We can filter through the same system. Do I want to get to the same place where this person stands in this particular life area they are giving the advice on? Something to consider. Lesson 7. The attitude matters. How you show up in life suggests your attitude. Let's take an example. We all go shopping, right? So we all know that there is a great deal of difference between a cashier who smiles at us warmly and wishes us a good day in a happy voice versus the cashier who grunts when they see us approaching the line, sighs constantly, mumbles something rude, and doesn't even bother to look into our eyes. Which cashier do you prefer to engage with? Exactly. Not a hard choice. Now, if you are looking at your own job, how do you show up? To which cashier do you resemble the most? Similar question to home life, your free time, etc. I loved how the author suggested to life up your smiles, give a warm handshake, put on a genuine interest in the how are yous, and enthusiasm into the congratulations, life up the talk, the walk, put vitality in it. Enthusiasm is key in having a positive attitude, but what if you are not enthusiastic about a particular topic? Then the author suggests to dig deeper into a topic, get more knowledge on it. The more you know, the higher chances you have in finding something that matches with your interest. That could be used with people who you did not get on well with. Finding something in common could help to improve the relationship. Similarly, if you don't like the idea to travel to a given location, but your wife does, the more you research into the location, the higher the chances are you will find something that you like, and it will build your enthusiasm as well. Attitude towards the weather is also a good example. When some people complain about rain as bad weather, you start to feel a little less energized just by listening to it. There is a good saying I like: there is no such thing as a bad weather, only clothing that is not suitable. Right? Get a raincoat and waterproof boots and go enjoy it. Of course, we are not talking about environmental catastrophes here, okay? If the tsunami hits, then run, no need to embrace it. Another key item is attitude toward our feelings or mood. Dr. Schwartz highlights how we feel in large part is determined by how we think we feel. If you keep repeating you feel tired, you will feel even more tired. It is better to acknowledge the tiredness and take a break, rest, close your eyes, take a big breath, get a warm tea, and just be. It's far more efficient than pushing yourself harder, but keep complaining days on end on being tired. Lastly, on attitude, ask yourself, how can I do better than what is expected? Where can I give a compliment and praise someone? Who can I encourage a bit? How could I bring more positive news into the world or spread the existing ones? Lesson 8. Take action. Almost every video or book on self-help and motivation will include taking action as key lesson. No wonder, because we are filled with great ideas. If you start jotting them down daily in your notes app and review at the end of the month, you will realize the idea supply is not the issue here. The action is, well, the lack of it. But instead what we do is we postpone. Maybe tomorrow I'll start, next week or next year. Then next year comes around and we push it again for the following year, and it will never come true during our lifetime if we continue down that road. What is the issue stopping us in taking a small step today? A major one is waiting to be ready 100% and having all the perfect conditions met. Like, I will start the business when I gather all the knowledge and skill on entrepreneurship and when the economy will be in great health. With this thinking, we will wait forever because there is always something new to be learned about. It is more helpful to think that we will cross the bridge when we get to the bridge. We don't need a detailed plan in advance on mapping out all the potential bridge sizes, lengths, how slippery they are, whether they have rails or not. Just take the first step. Many times the next is only enlightened when we get to the step prior. I like to think of life direction as taking a lovely summer evening walk on a sidewalk that has motion sensor lamps. So when I arrive to a given spot, only then the next step is illuminated, and so on. But if I try to overthink the end destination and try to imagine how it would look like when illuminated by the lamp, well then I will most probably not even get going and stay at home because I cannot tell for sure how it will look like, and that is scary. So take the energy from the head into the legs and hands, get going and doing. Examine the results, reflect, fine-tune and repeat. It will get you a lot further than planning and agonizing over unknown bits. Lesson 9. Goals. I know we hear this a lot. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years? It is hard to answer and feels like many things could change until then, which is true. But I still find it important to audit our life areas and define what is the vision for them. The life areas could be health and appearance, work and career, money, home, relationships, creativity, fun and adventure, and intellectual and spiritual growth. The author highlights, people these days are measured by the size of their dreams. No one accomplishes more than he sets out to accomplish, so visualize a big future. What do we kill these visions with? Plenty of options, like focusing on what we lack, for instance, education, or resorting back to security, or following what the parents wanted for us, or saying it cannot be done as one has a family and cannot pivot. But is there a teeny tiny chance for us to dream big and go after? The author highlights how important it is to have an active life filled with events and plans we want to do. An example he brings up is when people retire without any plans, they tend to experience decline in their health and many other aspects in their life. There is a great deal of difference for sure when we plan our year versus when we don't. If we have nothing extra planned in, it feels like the everyday monotone routine just keeps repeating. In a sense, the whole year is reduced to that one day that repeated. Of course, it will feel that it went by quickly because we did the very same thing. Get up, go to work, come home, do chores, sleep and repeat. But on the other hand, if we plan special events in, we will remember it instantly, like going for camping and sleeping under the stars, or visiting a bucket list location, or going to a painting camp, or hiking in a new place, or going for horseback riding, and so on and so forth. The options are limitless. This way, our year instantly feels longer, filled with rich experiences, and it could make us feel more satisfied that we used our time well on things that were exciting for us. We took courageous action instead of postponing. So fill your days with exciting activities, plan them in your calendar. As Dr. Schwartz highlights, to accomplish something, we must plan to accomplish something. List your plans and schedule placeholders in your calendar. If you need more inspiration and ideas, I did a video on how to become an experiential billionaire, as the authors put so. You can check it out in the description box. Lesson 10. Think like a leader. The author has 4 rules to achieve this. 1. Always put yourself in the other people's shoe. Like if you want to sell something, see the product through the customer's eyes, how useful it is for them. When you talk with someone, look at what they are saying from their background and experience. It will give you a great deal of understanding. When giving a gift, focus on what that person likes and appreciates, not what you like. Number 2, treat humans humanly. This pretty much is wanting to help them, support them. Praising if they do well in front of everyone, call them for a private discussion when they made a mistake, and support them overcoming it. Generally, it is all about uplifting people. Number 3, think progress, believe in progress, and push for progress. Focus on improving, giving a high standard in everything you do, and implement progressive ideas. Number 4, solitude. Taking time to think without distractions is key to gather clarity. Don't fill every minute with content or keeping companion. A lot of people cannot stand to sit with their thoughts. Potentially they fear what comes to mind, and the fact that we cannot control each and every thought that comes to us, but we can decide which one to entertain and engage with. Exercise using your thoughts to serve you and not vice versa, you being utilized and beat up by the thoughts. There are 2 ways to think in solitude. 1, directed thinking, like solving a specific problem, or 2, undirected, like when you journal or reflect. Both will provide with lots of insights, illuminating the next steps in your journey. That is it for the 10 lessons from The Magic of Thinking Big, written by Dr. David J. Schwartz. If you enjoyed the video and got value out of it, feel free to like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye!